Yeah, she's old and she's still beautiful, faithful as the day is long, and hard times stayed by his side. She ain't never done him wrong, seen him through a couple of wars. She got him out of trouble before. No telling how many men looked down the bore that gun my father wore. She looked like an angel to me. She always stood around eye level, and I reached out to see what my mama called the devil. As she caught me, she whooped me. Oh boy, my hide was sore. She said, don't ever let me catch you again with the gun your father wore. Despite the beatings I've received, I kept asking him to see. He'd say, run along now, boy. This here ain't no toy, you just go head on off to bed. This thing is sure enough to kill you dead, but that night dream shot through my head about the gun my father wore. And he would understand that someday I'd be a man. Went out back and he taught me how to make that barrel roar. With his hands around my hands, them old beer cans never stood a chance. And I learned a lot about my old man, that gun my father wore. But yeah, she's old and she's still beautiful, faithful as the sun will rise. She ain't never done him wrong, a hard time she stays by his side. Seen him through a couple of wars, she got him out of trouble before. No telling how many men looked down that bore the gun my father wore. Yeah, he'd take her to church, he'd take her to work, he'd take her on down to the liquor store. Every night you see him on the town, he even carried her on foreign short. You know, she was his faithful friend, like she was to his pa before. And I tell you, man, I'm proud to take that chance to wear the gun my father wore. And you know that day would come, then he'd call upon his son. He'd say, where I'm going, boy, I can't wear this here no more. You better use it with some sense. You better use it in self-defense. You better pray you never use it on your fellow man, this old gun your father wore. And you stand beside me, boy, I stand beside you. And we keep that banner waving, the old red, white, and blue. And we'll live free or die, we'll cry like the bygone days of yore. And if you're with me, go and get the old gun your father wore. Yeah, she's old and she's still beautiful, faithful as the day is long. Hard times she stays by his side, she ain't never done him wrong. Seen him through a couple of wars, she got him out of trouble before. No telling how many men looked down the bore that gun my father wore. He said, use a boy to protect this land. Use a boy, you stand down a man. You better use a boy to protect from death. Use a boy if there's nothing left. You better use a boy, no time to think. You better use a boy, but not when you drink. You better use a boy, don't you put her in a drawer. Wear that gun that your father wore. Use a boy in times of need. You better use a boy if there's mouths to feed. You better use a boy, don't you put her in a drawer. Wear that gun that your father wore. Like that. Gracias. Thanks for the request, Keith.